How's it going, Alan?
Dude, how are you? I'm doing all right for myself, I guess. Still here in
Good.
Utah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were just gonna say still here, and I'm like, oh, same, same. Yeah, like still on this earth,
Yeah,
but
dude.
yeah, still in Utah then.
Yep. And just I don't know, I can't leave, I guess. My wife doesn't want to leave mostly. I would like to move
Uh,
to Vegas back home,
okay.
but
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we were in Vegas, my van got broken into and
Oh no.
it's ridiculous because it was like in the same neighborhood where I grew up in. And so
No.
I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Anyway, so dude, how have you been? Uh,
Pretty good. Yeah. Still in LA. My wife, uh, she works at Disney on the film distribution side of things, and so we're gonna be in LA for as long as her career stays here. So,
right on.
uh,
I see.
and that's fine. I like LA a lot.
Oh, you do. It's been good
Yeah, I
for you.
do. Yeah,
What part of LA do you live?
we live in Burbank. Yeah,
Burbank.
we rent a apartment.
Cool, cool.
Oh, it's convenient. Yeah, it's like 5 minutes away from the Disney offices, so has no commute basically.
Right on. Cool. And so dude, where have
Yeah.
you worked on? I know you worked
Yeah,
at a lot of places, I think.
I've worked at a few places. Yeah. So I was in school, had the internship at Disney Animation, and then went back for the apprenticeship when I graduated. That was with Dylan, right? And anyways, Wreck-It Ralph 2 got delayed, so they laid off 10% of the studio and all the apprentices. And so we scattered to the winds. I went to Blur for like 8 months. And then I took a break for like 6 months. And then I went to DreamWorks for a few years. And then after DreamWorks, I worked for some guys that I knew from Disney from back in the day. Worked on Nimona for them. Um, and yeah, that was the last place I worked. I'm in another hiatus at the moment, so
No
I think I
worries,
mentioned.
dude.
Yeah.
You do need breaks because all I can remember from just working on projects is just so intense. Lots of overtime, and I hear
Yeah.
there's a lot of overtime just in the animation, film, and VFX.
Yeah, it definitely depends on where you work, but a bunch of places there will be some overtime. DreamWorks, there was none. Was the yeah, that's the
Where,
nice thing about DreamWorks.
where would you say is your favorite? Was your favorite place to work?
I might say Squarebit. That's the Disney guys that I worked for. The name of their company. Um, just because it was fully remote and it was really small, right? That was the smallest place I've worked because they just Squarebit does basically just rigging for hire, right? So anybody that needs to outsource some rigging or doesn't have the expertise or doesn't have the manpower, then Squarebit would do it for them, right? And so there were just like a couple of us, and that was really nice. Really, really nice. Just being like with just a couple people, just doing some rigging.
Cool. So rigging
Um,
is all you absolutely ever done in your
that's
career.
all I've ever done.
Wow,
Yeah.
way cool.
Um, yeah.
And how?
Turns out lots of people need rigs, so
Yeah, yeah,
it works out.
especially in LA. That's way cool, dude. Um, so when during our conversation in LinkedIn, I mean, I consider you like a god among ants. And you know why?
Uh, no,
Because
you're not.
rigging right now, like, so I'm looking for creative marketing kind of roles. I stayed in Utah. My career took me to do more like motion graphics,
Yeah,
film and video production, scripting, uh, infographics, presentation building, uh, everything in between, basically. I consider
yeah,
myself a multimedia editor because a lot of the corporations I worked for, their demand is more just, creative eye candy. Um,
yeah.
and so I got to, I have a drone, I got to fly that drone.
Oh, that's
And
sick, dude.
yeah, that's like the skill that I recently learned. I added to my skill set. And on
That's
top of
awesome.
that, I have a side hustle, which is drawing caricatures. Uh,
Oh, cool.
and been doing that for about 5 years now. It's a good side
Oh,
hustle
that's awesome.
for events and over the weekends. So yeah, but I mean,
That's sick, and that's also, I don't know. That's a good way to keep the creative juices flowing too, in a different way, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, my
Like I don't
question.
draw very much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, cause dude, I remember you. You were like again a god amongst ants. Like one of the. I remember it's only a few. You know, you have that one uh, super talented person that can draw and then rig or draw and script or something like that. Do everything
Yeah.
and anything. So that's why I remember you. Um, and yeah, I wanted to like. So you haven't drawn at all. Like you don't draw for pleasure. You don't draw for like therapy, or anything
Yeah,
like
I
that.
should. I should for therapy, definitely. No, yeah, like there have been a few times over the last couple of years where I've picked up a pencil or my tablet and done a few sketches, but like I
Okay.
haven't spent much time on it since. I think what happened. Well, but I mean, I when I do draw, I do enjoy it. But yeah, I'm really grateful I learned to draw because that's actually gotten me a like probably three of the four jobs I've ever had were uh in large part because of my figure drawings.
Oh, great.
Funnily enough.
Really? So
Yeah.
does that look like whenever you submit your demo reel or your portfolio that like that recruiters like look for that like the ability to draw, or
Not
would
the
you say?
recruiters, no. But if your demo reel is good enough to get you past the recruiters and to the actual team, the rigging team, um, turns out there aren't a lot of riggers who draw, right? And or character TDs who draw, at least not well. And um, so it's kind of unique. And basically, what it tells them is that I have a good eye, right? Or at least a halfway decent eye. And that is extremely important because you don't necessarily need to be able to draw to rig, right? But you do need to be able to tell, like, if something is good. And you also need to be able to tell if you need to be able to understand what a artist or animator is trying to convey to you, right? When they're giving you feedback. And if you have a artistic eye, then that's a lot easier, right? Um, it's not necessary, but helped. Definitely helped.
Very cool. That's perfect, dude. That was a great soundbite reply. Well, cool, man. You mentioned Dylan, dude. I mean, I haven't really talked to anybody about him, but he's always been a very clear memory for me.
Oh
Were
yeah,
you able to attend
very
his?
memorable guy.
Yeah, yeah. There's just everything about him. Um,
Yeah, me and so all of us apprentices from Disney, we Still have a group chat. It's called Big Hero 5. Because when we were there, they gave us an assignment to pick a Big Hero 6 character and rig them, right? And so we all picked different ones, and so that's kind of like our names now in the little group chat or whatever, right? And anyway, yeah, we were all there. 'Cause, yeah, eh, we were pretty close. We all hung out,
That's awesome.
but
Were you able to
yeah,
attend his funeral?
yeah, we all went. Yeah, we were all there.
Man, I wish I
Yeah,
would have
it was good.
gone.
It was good.
Okay. Rest in peace. Rest in power, Dylan.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He is a legend.
Dude, he and I, man, oh man, it's so funny. We were always chasing each other's jobs. Because like, I mean, he was rigging, I was rigging. It was really fun.
Yeah,
It was really fun.
and on top of that, going back to the comment of God among saints, because the riggers were always just, I don't know if did you choose. I think I remember asking you if you went into rigging because you liked it, but I don't think that was it. Did you choose to be a
It
rigger?
just kind of happened, right? Like, I really, really wanted to get involved on the student film as soon as I got back from a mission, right? So sophomore year, because like a lot of the people that I knew that were all trying to get into the animation program um, before I went on the mission, they were all working on the senior film because they were seniors now, right? And so I came back and I was like, "Hey guys, remember me from 2 years ago? Let me work on your film." And they were kind enough to let me, but the thing they needed help with the most was rigging. So I was just like, "Oh, cool. Well, I'll just do that." And then we just kind of went from there, right? Like I was like, "Oh, this is something that I'm decent at, and nobody wants to do, so I
Yeah,
guess I'll do
nobody
it."
wanted to do that. I hated that assignment. I mean, that and scripting for animation, like I had no patience. I got a lot of help from I don't know if you remember Jedi. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I remember Jedi.
yeah,
Lion.
yeah, he just got um he just got done working for the church, doing some stuff
Oh,
for them.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they're. Yeah,
So hey, here's a question. What's your
yeah.
favorite BYU animated short and why?
Oh, yeah, I had to think about that. I think it might be Pajama Gladiator, just because nostalgia, and that was kind of my favorite when I was trying to get into the program, right? And I was like, "They're so cool! Look at this cool Pajama Gladiator short film with all these monsters and stuff." So yeah, that's probably like it, just for nostalgia reasons. And I mean, it was a great short. They did a good job.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. What's the greatest lesson you've learned from a BYU animation professor? And which professor?
Oh, okay. So my memory is always been really bad, and and then on top of that, I'm really bad with names. So please forgive me. Seth. What's his last name?
Seth Holiday?
Uh, yes. Okay, Seth Holiday. Thank you. I just remember. I was like, I know his name's Seth. I don't know his last name anymore. I've forgotten everything. Okay, so the greatest lesson I learned in BYU animation from a professor was probably uh, probably just to be really kind. From this is gonna sound really sappy. In like senior year, I was like really done and like struggling with mental health. And I had a class with Seth, one of those like one-on-one like personal project sort of classes for a few credits, right?
Yep.
And he let me do nothing the entire semester. I did not put a single finger on a keyboard for that project. and he gave me an A. Like he was just, I don't know. That was really, really, really nice of him. I don't know if I should say that out loud. Is he allowed to do that? Is he still at BYU? I don't know. Anyways,
It was the special
uh,
projects class. I took that one
yeah,
too, and I remember I started out modeling a bike because I was gonna rig it, but then I'm like, screw that. I want to build a like just like the town assignment, the procedural town.
yeah,
Um, but do that a little better. But yeah, I I didn't do anything in that class either, and he still gave me an A too. So
Seth,
yeah,
bless you. What a good guy.
yeah, and I was at BYU a few years ago. I was just walking around. I had my mask on, just reminiscing, and I didn't expect him to like recognize me, but he did, and that felt really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, and I miss all those professors. They were
They
amazing.
were all really, really, really good people.
So
I guess
on
they're probably mostly still alive, so they are really, really good people. Yeah.
yeah yeah,
Yeah.
Brent's retired. Thank God he was safe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He
So
did a
on
great job.
you mentioned that you were struggling during BYU. Um, can I ask about that? Like, what was
Oh
your
sure.
biggest struggle during that time?
I mean, it's an ongoing struggle. I'm bipolar too, which I'm not crazy, but I don't have multiple personalities or anything. But basically, my brain and body go in cycles, right? And so like every couple weeks, every month ish, I'll just have a few weeks of just like crushing depression. And it just like comes and goes. It's not seasonal depression, it's just the way my brain works. And anyways, turns out that makes it hard to do stuff.
Yep.
Turn in assignments on time, work on senior projects, senior films. And anyway, so yeah, combine that with the fact that I had met Rachel, my wife, when we were dating long distance, and I'd never done long distance before, and I was really miserable in Utah because she was in California still, and but yeah, those two things combined just kind of made senior year like, well, specifically the last semester of senior year, like not ideal for me in Utah. But no, that's
Gotcha. Yeah, my wife and I, we were long distance for 2 years where we got married. Um,
yeah, it's not fun.
I mean, not fun. I think it was really fun, to be honest.
What?
Like we
No
were
way.
just we would call each other all the time.
Yeah,
And I think being Mormon and like, just waiting till you're married to do any kind of intimacy. Like
yeah,
I don't know, I feel like it was pretty easy for me. Uh,
yeah. Yeah,
but right on. How
I
long
don't know.
have you been married now?
Oh gosh. Wow. Almost 7 years now. He'll be 7 years in July.
Congrats,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks.
We turned 10 in July.
Nice. Oh, that's a big number.
It is.
You guys gonna do anything special for it?
Oh,
It's
dude.
10. Kind of have to.
I mean, we promised each other we were going to go to Hawaii for our 10th
Oh.
anniversary, but right now, like, how things are, right now,
Mm,
I don't have a job, so um,
yeah.
just gotta find a job first, I guess. So hopefully I could do that
E-
before then.
Easy peasy. Uh, Hopefully.
Yeah.
The
I always
market
tell my
kind of
wife,
sucks right now.
yeah, Yeah, it's super hard, dude. Like I mean, I'm always seeing all these layoffs. Uh,
Yeah.
and actually, on that note, like, what are your impressions on these, mass layoffs, long or short hiatuses? Because I talked to,
Yeah.
do you know him?
Yeah. We played league together in the. Yeah, yeah. I know him. I mean, he was yeah.
Yeah, but
Great dude, storyboarder.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
storyboarding, the front end of
Yeah.
the production line, and he hasn't had work since I think last summer. And then with the
Oof.
writer's strike, it's I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, how are you making it? Um, he says he's getting by, but yeah, what are your impressions, dude?
I mean, it was kind of the perfect storm, right? Like, first you had a couple years of pandemic that shut down theaters, right? And then because of that, everybody rushed to streaming, and that conditioned audiences to not go to the theater even when the theaters reopened, right? And so the box office hasn't been the same since. And then on top of that, you have the strike, which definitely impacted everybody. And then on top of that, you have during the pandemic, one of the only forms of media that was growing was video games, and so they were getting tons and tons of investment during the pandemic. Everybody overexpanded, and then over the last year, they realized they don't have that sort of funding anymore. So everybody's doing the layoffs in video games too. So yeah, animation, VFX, and video games all just having a rough time.
Yeah,
Which yeah, and they're all tied together, right? Because so many skills across those three disciplines are interchangeable. So, uh, video
there's
game studio lays off, half their staff or shuts down. Anybody who is rigging at that video game studio is now in the market for video games, VFX, animation, and vice versa. So, yeah, mm, it is what it is. Market will stabilize eventually, but
yeah,
it's gonna be too late for some people probably because people got put food on the table. So
yeah,
I anticipate there will be some people that'll just be leaving the industry.
yeah. Do you know anyone that's left the industry that's like
Not
has
yet. Nah. Um, most of my friends are they're all way more talented than me and extremely good at what they do. So okay, one of my friends got laid off from Blizzard a couple weeks ago when the big Activision Blizzard layoffs happened, and he had to apply to 12 jobs before he finally found one, which he was like, that's he wasn't expecting the number to be that high, right? Because he's a character TD, like we're in extremely high demand. He has a great like portfolio and resume, and it's always been, just like basically walk up and people offer you the job, right? And so that was a little bit of a shock for him, and I was like, dang, if it took you 12 attempts, 12 applications to get something, like, ooh, that is crazy. Market is crazy right now. But no, so all my friends they're good. They're set. But I mean, if I weren't if I weren't married to Rachel, then I might be. Like, honestly,
yeah,
just cuz yeah, I would about right now, be having to make those sort of choices.
Gotcha.
Because after Square Bit, so I was working on Nimona, and that finished, and my mental health wasn't good, so I told those guys, "Hey, I'm gonna take a break," and then that break turned into a year, and then another few months, and then like 2 months ago, I was like, I think I'm ready to get back into the game again. And then I was like, wait, this is a terrible time to try and get back into the game. I should have taken my break like right now instead of a year ago. Uh,
Gotcha. So what's your is your greatest concern right now just, breaking back into the industry because you have all these years experiences. How many rigs have you created actually? Do you like keep count or anything?
I, I've never, no, I don't keep count. I don't know. Maybe a
An estimate.
few, maybe like 30. I don't know.
30.
Not that many, but the, yeah.
What's here, let
Probably
me
about
shift
30.
the question.
Oh, okay.
What's the most complicated rig you've ever built?
Mm, Probably the tarantula one from Bad Guys. And it is not that complicated of a character or anything, but DreamWorks has proprietary software, right? I mean, everybody does, but DreamWorks is called Rig. That's the name of the software, and it was made like I don't know how many decades ago. And It's very obtuse software. And anyways, so like the guys who have used it for 15 years or whatever, right? Like it's just like swimming for them or whatever, right? Like everything is perfectly clear and understandable, but when you come in, it was not that way for me, right?
You
Um
had a learning curve.
yeah, and so like I was doing just like all these characters that were like very straightforward and set up, and like it was more about just doing a bunch of shape work and stuff, right, than actually doing any like design work on the rig. But then tarantula, they're like, here, here's this eight-legged creature, and it's not, we don't have a template for you, and so go have fun. And that was a little more complicated because I had to actually dive into, okay, how does rig actually work now? And honestly, by the end of it, I still didn't understand how rig actually worked, but tarantula worked, so everything was okay. But yeah, yeah.
Right on.
I think
Cool.
they I think they moved to a new rigging software now, finally. Like, of course, like right after I left, basically. But whatever.
Way cool. So what's your favorite rig you've ever built?
Mm, I think it's probably also a DreamWorks rig. It's the Wig Hog. And the Crudes too. Granny, her hair is actually an animal,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of fun with that one. I did the whole rig at DreamWorks. There's face riggers and there's body riggers, right? But since it was a creature, you kind of just do the whole thing. And since it was like a side character creature, and it was just fun because he's got like this squishy body, but then he also has like the webbing in between his arms and legs, and then his face is like crazy, and like he's got the bulgy eyes and everything. I think he's my favorite. He was really 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 cute,
Wig hog, you
really
call
fun. Yeah, I don't know if that's. I mean, that's his name in the computer. I don't know if his character actually has a different name. He's
it. Yeah.
just a side character. So
I can't remember. My kids love it though.
Wiggusith, maybe. Oh, his name is Wigasus, like Pegasus, but Wigasus. Okay.
Cool. But his rig name is Wighog. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Wighog.
Nice. That's more sounds more appropriate, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, he's kind of like a hedgehog, but a wig. So yeah.
Right on. Well, cool, dude. What's the most what are you most looking forward to right now in your life? Are you having any kids? Are you
No, Rachel and we're not having kids anytime soon, at least.
okay?
Um, I
Can I ask
mean,
why?
oh yeah. We just don't like kids. I have over 42 nieces and nephews. I lost count like a year ago because more of them kept coming in. And Rachel and I joke anytime we go to a family reunion, get together, funeral, you name it, like it's free birth control. So anyway, that's the simple answer. We just don't like kids. So
Okay.
we were both like, well, we like kids if we can give them back, right? Like we'll watch our friends' kids, right? Because it's like it's fun when they're you can just be the like cool like adults that give them candy and ice cream and let them play games and whatever, and then you give them back to their parents.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Like I have no so I'm well, back when I was like so I'm like on my way out of the church right now. And I remember like
As
when my wife and I
many
got
people
married,
are.
we're like, we're gonna have 8 kids. And we
Oh,
had one
oh
kid,
man.
and we're like, we're gonna have another kid. So we just have two, 7
Yeah.
and 5, and we're done. I
Yeah.
mean, the way the world is right now, it's like it's so hard
Yeah.
for children.
It's
The
virtually
future,
impossible.
yeah, and the future looks dim. So my wife and I, we've been talking about adopting,
Yeah.
because I think
Rachel and I have talked about that too. If we do have kids someday, it'll be because we adopted them.
right on, cool, dude. Well, more power to you and to your wife, because that's a huge thing, especially today. So right on.
But no, we're right there with you, honestly. Like I say we don't like kids in jest, but there is a lot more to it. And yeah. Yeah. Those are two of the big ones. Like yeah.
Cool, cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well,
We yeah. We left the church a couple years ago.
okay.
Um
Can I ask you reasons, dude? Because I have mine, and I
yeah.
have something to say right now about it, but I don't really talk to anybody, to be honest. Not even to my
Oh,
wife.
really?
My wife
Oh,
is
wow.
like, she's still in the church. She's still a true believing Mormon. Um,
Yeah.
but I talked to I don't know if you took a class with uh, is
He was an illustration professor? No.
yeah, he
Yet?
was, but he also taught the intro to drawing for animation.
Yeah. I never had the fortune to take a class with him, no.
Yeah. Well,
But
he's
I know of him.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he we reconnected. I interviewed him, and he told me like I was surprised because he has a minor in Mesoamerican cultures from
Yeah.
BYU, and I was like, what? Because I also worked for the leading expert on the Olmec, um,
Oh,
John
that's
Clark,
cool.
and he ran the church's it's called the New World Archaeological Foundation, but it's basically
Hmm.
the church sends money to that organization to excavate in Chiapas, Mexico. And
Cool.
but yeah, I only started my like in-depth research on church history, but mostly like just Mesoamerican and also indigenous cultures, just like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And that for me was like that's the nail in the coffin for me. Um,
Yeah.
but what has it been for you?
No, that is that's really interesting. That's a pretty unique reason, actually. I've never heard anybody give that as their reason before, but I like it. No, so hmm, I mean, I think I just have too many LGBTQ friends now. At this point, that was the starting point. I think for me was um, just being surrounded by uh, people that weren't, you know, traditional LDS marriage values, and yeah, that was basically the beginning of the end when I realized that I couldn't. I was having a lot of mental dissonance, right, about like church doctrine about gay people and like my gay friends, right? I uh I don't know. I wasn't able to reconcile like my church doctrine knowledge of, like they basically can't be I mean, they have two options, right? They either change, just don't, right? Or they just don't be happy, right? Don't act on don't fall in love, don't don't act on anything like it, and anyways, after a while it's just like this BS. So and so that was like the starting point, and then like no, my family's like super LDS, right? And like when I say super, I mean like super, right? Like my mom's a direct descendant of Parley P. Pratt. My dad's a direct descendant of Brigham Young. My grandma is a Card from Cardston, Alberta, Canada, which was a Mormon polygamous colony up there, right? Because her great great granddad was a Card and he started the colony, right? And then my mom's side is from Mexico, from the polygamous colonies in there,
No
right?
way.
Because like we're super Mormon, right? Like super super Mormon. I mean, I'm in Ashby, right? Like if you go to Nauvoo, there's the Ashby Snow House in Nauvoo, right? Because one of my great 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 grandpas joined the church super early and died on the plains, right? Like
Wow.
it's like every summer when I was a kid, like we were in the Nauvoo pageant, right? That was our summer vacation, being in the Nauvoo pageant. Like, and so like I was deep in doctrine of the church, like my entire life, right? I was one of the most knowledgeable missionaries I ever met, right? Like I'd read Jesus the Christ before I went on the mission, right? Like it's just like,
Yeah.
um, anyways, and in my head, like I mean, that's one of the things the LDS Church is really good at, actually, is providing mostly logical answers to most of the questions that you have, right? And anyways, but yeah, once I decided because of my mental dissonance, hey, I'm gonna stop looking for solutions to these questions I'm having, and I'm gonna start looking for problems instead. Like once you make that flip, just as easy to find problems as it is to find solutions. So
Amen.
yeah.
Dude, that's well said. I never thought of it that way. For me, like, and I don't know, did you ever like, you know, research more church history, or at the looked at closer look at the Book of Abraham and how that came
Uh,
about, or did you
the
grow up
funny
with
thing,
that too?
the funny thing is, I knew all that stuff while I was in the church, right? Because like
Okay.
my mission was in the South, in Mississippi, and I lived in
Shoot.
Tennessee my entire life, right? So like as a Mormon in Tennessee and Mississippi, you're kind of always under attack by the Protestants around you or the evangelicals,
The
right?
real Christian.
Uh, exactly. And so like you have to like have a really like either just a thick skin or a really deep like knowledge, right? To be able to like refute stuff that your classmates are throwing at you when you're a freshman in high school, right? Because their pastor told them to. Anyways, and so like I it's funny. I knew like all about Book of Abraham, a lot of OG Joseph Smith stuff and drama and Brigham Young stuff too, like because he's an ancestor, like. And so honestly, once I decided to leave, like Rachel didn't know any of this stuff, right? Because she grew up in the church her entire life, but she was more of a feels, vibes only, right? sort of person. Like she didn't study. And so I didn't go and like seek anything out, but she kind of did a little bit. And then we would talk about stuff that she had discovered for the first time. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's that thing. Let me tell you all I know about it." And anyways, long story short, I didn't really feel the need to go and look anything up because I already knew it all. I just discredited it in my head. So
Right on. So
yeah,
for her, it was more like, she became enlightened with, all that stuff recently. Then.
yeah, because for her the church had always just been like just like
A cool place. Like,
a cool place to go, social, cultural, like family sort of thing. And she never like studied, didn't read the scriptures or anything, Utah Mormon. Okay, that's unfair. Not all Utah Mormons are like that. But
we're pretty
anyways,
close, I would say. Like, it's all good vibes. Yeah, good vibes. Like, my wife is like that right now. Like, she goes
yeah,
because she loves to serve, and she has a
yeah.
mother wound. So, I
Mm,
mean, she tells me she has to get to the temple. She has to be an eternal family with her mom and her dad, who both passed away
mm,
when she was very young. So,
yeah,
like, and that's been probably the hardest part. But no, dude,
it is really hard.
did you ever like meet with your bishop and tell him, "Yo, I'm because that's where I'm at right now. Just 2 weeks ago, I met with my
Mm,
bishop, and because my kid's baptism is coming up, she's gonna be baptized March 30th, and
yeah,
I mean, last year I told him, "Yo, I don't believe any of this. Didn't give any specifics. Just like these are my conclusions. My sense of righteousness or morality, has led me to this point, and I can't accept Joseph Smith as a prophet. Blah blah blah." So
yeah.
now me, my wife, and the bishop are in this meeting. Yo, what do we do about about my? And I'm like, well, I'm coming to church, bishop, and I'm not like causing any trouble. I'm not inviting any contention. I'm not debating anything, bringing up weird things. Um, I'm here by tradition, and
Yeah.
I'm a righteous priesthood holder. All I need is, I guess, your permission to baptize my daughter. He was like, but, but, but if you don't believe, in the priesthood, then how? And I'm like, well, I mean, uh, I don't see how bad it can be. I can't go to the Catholics because I was never raised Catholic, etc., etc. So I still need I'm following back up with him this weekend to see what he says. If he's gonna
Yeah,
let me baptize my kid or my dad might have to do it. But
yeah.
I don't know, it makes no difference for me, but for him, he verbalized it as like, well, I have to look out for like what's best for, and he kind of paused or hesitated. But what's best for your daughter? And I'm like, it's
Yeah,
not your job, dude.
because he's like, if you baptize her, that means it's not a real baptism. So that means she wasn't ever baptized, and you have to be baptized. Yeah,
It's
is
a
BS.
it's a messy noodle soup, I call it, because it's like
Noodle soup. Yeah.
I don't know, because you can follow something down the line, and it gets lost um because I think what I'm looking for is more inner peace. And now
Yep.
with the knowledge I know, I want to be more of an advocate for indigenous peoples.
Yeah.
I found my indigenous history, dude, and
No way. That's freaking
yeah,
sick.
and dude,
That's really hard,
yeah,
right?
let me tell you, like I'm so proud of it, but I'm stuck on the fact that, like, for example, I passed the summer with my grandma after graduating high school in Mexico City. It's the school that was owned and run by the church for many years.
Okay.
Dad went there. Pretty sure it started as like a polygamous settlement because
Probably.
any
Yep.
any Mormon property in Mexico, started that way.
Yep.
But anyway, but it's that school got turned into an MTC. Wife and I met there. But anyway, after I graduated, I spent a summer with my grandma, and it was just the best. I come
Yeah.
back, and it was only till she passed away in 2018 that I
Mm.
learned that um, she spoke Olutec Popoluca, which pertains to the Mihesoque language family, and it's only found in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, like the little stretch of land before you get to the Mayan Peninsula. Um,
Wow.
and it's native to there. You can't relate it to Maya. You can't relate it to Zapotec. You can't relate it to or to Nahua. Um, anyway, I learned that she was one of the last speakers. So I did a bunch of
Wow.
research. I saw that, like, yeah, it was only in the small town where she lived. It was only a small concentration of the older generation. Now it's completely extinct, and yeah, that's what led me down the rabbit hole. Like, what is Mesoamerica?
Uh,
Because
yeah, that's so cool.
my story is I'm a Mexi Mormon. I was indoctrinated in Mexico City. There is where you learn to accept that the Book of Mormon took place here, like the
Yeah.
Lamech or the Jaredites or the Mulekites. Oh, that's so cool. I went there. I went there. I saw the ruins. You visit the museums. Oh, this is all Lamanite stuff. Wow. And then
Yeah.
now I'm super pissed off because it's not true. I even get into heated debates of people that still believe in the Heartland model. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but the Heartland
No.
model is the Book of Mormon took place in eastern United States.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I have heard of that. I just didn't know it was the name of it. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's super interesting because, like, I mean, if only we had a prophet to tell us where. But anyway, so that's where I'm at now. I'm like, yo, I got indigenous blood, but it's it's tricky for me because today's politics, they never voice. They're not in favor of diversity, especially in youth.
No. Yeah.
And then yeah, so I'm trying to find a job now so I can participate more in politics or indigenous people's rights and all that.
That's that's really awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No, your story is very inspiring, man. I also spoke with Master Rigger.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
wife too. She's like, this isn't what I thought I signed up for, and it's
Yep.
happening, man. It's
Yeah. Um yeah, yeah, that one surprised me. Like, I mean, he and I were desk mates at DreamWorks for like 3 years, right? Really good buds, as always up there. He's super Mormon, right?
yep,
Or he was.
Mexi Mormon.
Yeah. But his wife's brother, who funnily enough was my old roommate in college, anyways, he's gay, and I think eventually, like, Yeah, I think the mental distance got to him too. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
it's
man,
tricky.
it really is happening. My one of my brothers, there's 10 of us, 10 siblings, right? And one of my brothers has also left the church and his family. It's
You choose the
Mm.
right because you were taught to, right? Like, uh, for me, my sense of justice, morality, is now what I do. I'm not gonna
Yep.
base it on. I think Jesus Christ is still really cool, um, but not many people are like living as Christ, or at least the evangelical Christians that I see. They're all for Trump. Um, and it's
Yeah.
more of like a Christian nationalist thing, which I
Yep.
I mean you could compare it to racism, to systemic
Oh
injustices as
yeah.
well. So yeah, it's
Yeah. Having spent a lot of time in the South, for me it was it was and like yeah, for me it was always like, okay, it's either the LDS church or it's nothing, right? Just because I spent so much time like dissecting and debating with all these guys from all sorts of different other sects and religions, right?
yeah,
and uh, and so when I finally realized that, it's not LDS for me anymore, I was like, oh well, I guess I'm an agnostic now, because if
what's
not a
that?
full blown atheist, I don't know
Yeah,
yet. Because yeah, I can't like no, I agree with you. Like the teachings of Jesus Christ in the New Testament specifically, right, have a lot of really solid, wholesome stuff, right? Like especially if you ignore everything that's not one of the four gospels, right? Um like the stuff that purportedly came out of Jesus's mouth, right, is very wholesome and in general just solid, good, nice advice for anyone to have, right? But like, yeah, man, nobody actually cares about that stuff.
man, man.
It's it's all about
And not only that, I was
um,
talking with my brother because he's also at the church. Um, that I so I started reading. What I'm reading now is the Popol Vuh. It's the Quiche Maya myth, creation myth. It
hmm,
came out.
cool.
It came out in a little bit after the Spanish conquest, like
Okay.
1550 or something. But like I was telling him, and I'm reading Lord of the Rings too, and
Okay.
I told him, yeah, man, this is filling that hole of the fantasy that you love, from the Book of Mormon stories, right? Like you grew up with
Yeah.
that. And, since, you do away with that stuff, there's a whole, there's a creative, like, demand for fantasy that your brain needs. And so, like, I started
Hmm.
reading that, and then I started reading the Popol Vuh. And I don't know, it just fills me with light. I can feel it fill me with
Yeah.
light, with goodness, with like, yo, Aragorn, just like when he stood up to talk, like they don't show it in the movies, but it's described really well how like
Yeah.
he rises from like this uh a hooded ranger to like now he's speaking as the king. And
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. It is super cool. It's like that's the speaking with like authority, with power and authority. And so it's cool because like I need that kind of character in my life. Like I need to be that character. Because again, with the cognitive dissonance, like you don't know who you are anymore or how to speak even. And that's what happened to me for a long time during BYU, um,
Hmm.
and then a little after, and even like just made me doubt like my own abilities. Like, is my work good? Am I good? What does, and if that's good, what does good even matter? Uh,
Yeah.
but it's desperately needed today. Um, and it's hard to do that, like, because it's not
Yeah.
only that you miss the fantasy, but you also I miss the service that I could give. I loved, I was Cub Scout, Cub Master, working on that,
Yeah.
and
The yeah.
and I miss that. I don't know how is it for you, Anne?
She definitely misses the community and the service more than I do. Um, because I mean, in America today, there are books written about this. This is a rabbit hole I've gone down in the last couple of years. Is the loss of, they call them third places in America. Which third place. So first place would be your home, right, where you are with your family. Second place would be your work, right, where you are with your coworkers. And then a third place is a place where you are with your community, right? And so back in the day, that was a myriad of things, right? There were like 60 years ago in America, like malls were hopping, yeah, of course, you have like all these social clubs and stuff, and like, anyways, America kind of lost that. Um, Most places that kind of purport to be third places nowadays are less about community and more about profit. And so, anyways, long story short, yeah, like without church in our lives, like where do we even go to find a sense of community anymore, right? And and then when we decided to stop going to church was in the middle of the pandemic, so we just were like, oh well, I guess we have no community, right? We just won't do anything. But yeah, it is interesting, and that has been a little bit of a hole that's been left. But the price is a small one to pay, honestly, for for yeah, as you say, like standing up for what I believe in, right? Like, which is so funny to use that as like it's kind of weird for me to say that out loud, standing up for what I believe in, right? Because like for the vast majority of my life, standing up for what I believe in, meant defending the church, right? Um, and like for my friends and family who probably think I'm just going through a phase, right? They're standing up for what they believe in by, trying to bring me back and everything. And I don't know if it clicks for them that like that it's a little deeper than that for me, like it's very permanent, guys. Uh yeah. I'm
So now
rambling.
no, so now let me ask you this. In terms of community service or any activity in the community, do you see yourself, doing that with? And I don't know. I stay in the church because I mean I'm gonna take my wife and kids to church, so I have to be there.
Yeah.
But I just hang
Yeah, of
out
course.
and just read my books, draw. Um, but when it comes to like the activity, the actions you do in your community, uh, and I don't think you have a sense of a duty to community, but do you still have that? And and if you were to go back either to the church or anywhere else, where do you think it would be?
Um, yeah, I think I don't really have a sense of community anymore. And for me, like, I kind of have a lack of desire for it at this point. I'm a hermit. I'm a grumpy old hermit. No, I'm kidding. Uh, I have my friends, right? And I guess that's kind of a loose community. But like when it comes to like supporting the people directly in my vicinity around me and everything, I'm it's kind of weird. I'm very disassociated, right? Um, which probably isn't for the best. Am I part of the problem of America and our lack of community? Probably. Yeah.
I would say most definitely. Um, it's not just you, but like that's what happens. Like we leave the church, we have all this free time. I started playing StarCraft a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I don't know. I'm thinking I want to do a tournament, but that's about it. Like that's how I use my time. I read, I hang out with my kids, but I think about the small moments, and they're very random. Of I live in a condo, and so we're all stacked up on each other. Everyone here is
yeah,
LDS,
yeah.
and I always say hi and I smile. I try and do that now, and make sure I know my neighbors' friends. But that's about it. And even though there's like this statistic, like they have, statistics say that um, like if if you say hi to your neighbors will say hi back. Also, like your oxytocin increases or something. Um, but even then, I'm like, how can I do more? Uh, I just don't want to. um, I do have that
And
sense still.
yeah, and it feels kind of like an almost impossible task in like, or not impossible task, but like a meaningless task almost here in like in Burbank, Los Angeles, you know? Like the problems facing LA are so large that it's almost like you know, because I mean it's a giant city of like 11 million people or whatever, right? Like it's and then I'm so far removed from those problems because I'm like in Burbank, right? Which is like, you know, rich people like studio town, right? Um yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's kind of a segueing back to like oh, you mentioned when we were talking about kids and stuff like I don't know, it's kind of that sense of helplessness for the future. So why bother? You know? And that's definitely not a great mentality, but it's probably the one that it's definitely the one that I have right now, right? Like why bother having kids with the world in the state that it's in, or why bother making an effort to find a community with in LA with you know yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense because I'm honestly I haven't done much thinking along these lines before. So I'm kind of like thinking out loud, trying to figure it out as I go, and it's not working. But I'll think more about it. You got me
No,
thinking,
I.
Alan. You got me thinking.
Well, that's great because because I the other piece and you the biggest thing that runs our lives, I think, or our livelihoods are, the corporate structure. BYU prepared us to work within, the corporate studio environment. Um, and so today, I mean, I feel disenfranchised. I don't know if you do. My brother does. I mean, he makes a ton of money just building websites for a travel agency, but he is, I mean, it's scary. You say you're bipolar and, you suffer depression, but I don't know if seeing it firsthand, like I haven't seen you in one of your episodes, but it's just so scary. I know I don't suffer from that. I always try and keep a beat, and also cannabis has helped a lot. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if you're a pothead, but I am.
No, I'm not. One of my friends is bipolar, and he actually cautioned me against it, but
Okay.
I don't know.
It's
I should look it up more.
I will say that it's different for everybody. I will
Yeah.
say, like, alcohol is good for, like, going to sleep. Like, if you have a
That
dinner
is true.
and
That
then
is very true.
yeah, like, uh,
And that, I should use that honestly more because one of the other downsides of bipolar, right? So you have the depression, but then what's the opposite? You have manic episodes, right? So you're either basically the way I describe it to people, you have high highs and low lows, right? And the manic episodes can actually be just as destructive as the down episodes because while you are manic, anything is possible, right? You can accomplish anything, right? So if I'm manic and I don't realize it, and my boss asks me, like, hey, Steven, can you get this done by the end of the week? I say yes, because of course I can, right? Like, I don't even think about it because you can do anything, right? And that can lead to problems, especially if your manic episode ends 2 days in and a depressive episode starts like on Thursday, right? And then you're effed, right? Because you told your boss, yeah, I'll get it done by the end of the week. And then the last 2 days of the week, you're just dragging yourself to your computer, right? So, anyways, the manic side of things is, and then also when you're manic, you don't go to sleep. Like you will just stay up all night. So, and then your sleep schedule is jacked for the next like week, right? And that affects your work as well. So, yeah, I have noticed that alcohol is great at putting me to sleep, and I should probably, next time I notice I'm manic, I should just go drink a bottle of soju.
awesome. Yeah, man. There's a Japanese beer, Sapporo, I think it's
Okay.
called. It's pretty good.
Okay.
If you
This is.
like beer, because I mean, tequila, whiskey is the hardest and probably the most dangerous for me.
Mm.
Tequila is nice with the steak, or tacos, dude. Tacos de birria.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh heck yeah.
but yeah, I've
Yeah, I need to. I honestly, I've only tried a couple beers, and they haven't grown on me yet. But we're still in the experimental phase. So far, what I like best is lychee soju is so tasty. So
lychee soju. What is that?
yeah, I don't know.
Is that liquor?
Soju's it's like 13%. Um, but it's not a wine, right? What is it? What is soju made out of? Let's see here. I think soju is Korean distilled alcoholic beverage.
Yummy.
I got no clue. I'm a total noob when it comes to alcohol. I just try things that my friends give me, and then I tell them what I like. And so far, my favorite is soju. So,
Right on, dude. I think my favorite
but
thing I've ever tried um, is mezcal.
wait,
Mezcal is a different. I I, I want to say it's tequila, but I started talking to my brother about it. He's like, "Dude, that's not tequila. Mezcal is mezcal." I'm like,
how do you
"Okay."
spell it?
Mezcal.
Mezcal.
Cal.
Oh,
Mezcal. Uh-huh.
okay. Mezcal. Aha, got it. Okay,
Produced.
I'm adding that to my list. I'm gonna try it.
It's native to Oaxaca, and you
Oh,
need
cool.
to use. I mean, it's. I think they use the same plant where they get tequila, the maguey plant. It's this
Okay.
giant thing. They pull out the root. They process it. I don't know, but it's a different
Holy
brew. But it's super yummy in the sense that it doesn't burn.
55%.
Yeah.
Wait, it doesn't. But how? How
It
is that even
doesn't.
possible
Well,
with it that with it that ABV? That's crazy.
well, with
Okay, I'm definitely
tequila,
trying this.
tequila, like, oh no, it burns. That's why you gotta have it with a meal,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
meat. But with
yeah.
mezcal, it's more of like this smoky kind of sensation. It doesn't burn though. But if you're looking
Dude,
for a
okay,
burn,
that sounds
tequila,
good to me.
yeah, that and wine, of course. Women, I
Yeah,
know that women can get drunk pretty quickly. Uh,
yeah. My wife is a lightweight. I mean, she's only like what 115 pounds or whatever, so it makes sense that
yeah,
like you can't drink as much as a 240-pound guy. But yeah, we have to be careful when she's drinking.
yeah. Oh, dude, my favorite episode with wine. Can I tell you?
Sure.
It's kind of really intimate, but it's the best thing ever because
Okay.
it was kind of illegal too. But it's all my wife's doing. Anyway,
Uh oh.
it's our anniversary. We lived in Orem a few years ago, and then and so we go out. She just tells the neighbor, "Hey neighbor, watch our kids." She comes over, and so we go and we go to Wymount, and we go in our minivan, and we have wine there. We have like cheese and crackers, and then
huh.
we totally do it in in the parking lot. And I'm like, "Who are you, woman?" She's the most Mormon girl I know, and I'm like
Uh-huh.
so taken aback.
Uh,
Anyway,
that's
just wanted
so
to tell
funny.
you that since we're
Wait,
talking
at
about it.
why mountain?
Yeah, the Wymount Trail,
Oh,
the parking lot
oh my
there.
god, amazing.
We look over, it's
Uh,
beautiful, it's like perfect. And anyway,
yeah,
dude, the
gorgeous.
weed is great. One of the best anniversaries ever.
Sounds like it.
Well,
Yeah.
dude,
Rachel's really. She's actually. I mean, because we're so new to alcohol. She's Rachel's Asian. Her parents are both from Hong Kong, and anyway, so she gets like the Asian glow really, really bad, like more than my Asian friends do. And so she's really nervous about it because she read an article and she was like, if you get the Asian glow really bad, it's because your body doesn't process the alcohol well, so it's literally poisoning you. I was like, there are billions of people who get the Asian glow and they drink alcohol just like anybody else. You'll be fine. But she's like nervous about it, so we don't drink too much, but
that's good.
getting into it. I'm gonna start trying it to fall asleep though, for real, because it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, dude, it'll put you down. And also, can I ask you about what's your exercise like? Like, do you work out
Yeah.
every day or a few days a week?
Um. So I'm more. I'm
You're a hermit, you said.
I'm in worse shape than I've ever been in my entire life, which ain't great.
You still look good, dude. That hair and that beard. Jealous.
Did I? Okay. I admit I like my looks better now. Like, okay, so when I was in school, I was 170, right? Like 175 maybe, right? Super skinny dude. And I think I look better with more meat on my bones, but I don't like the pressure that my extra weight's putting on my heart. It was like I've always been in shape, right? Like, I mean, when I was in college, I ran a full marathon, right? Like, it was like I just liked working out. But, anyways, I haven't done that much. But I did get a gym membership about a month ago. And so I'm working out like 3 days a week now. Just because I need to lose some weight and so that I can actually walk upstairs without gasping, you know? So I just want to be healthy. I don't want to be I don't care as much about being fit anymore. I just want to be healthy.
Yeah,
So working on it.
right on. Do you have any?
And I mean, and the reason I ran a marathon in college was because I was uber depressed and I was like, if I run a marathon, I won't be as depressed. And it's true. I wasn't as depressed. So I should also just work out more for mental health as well.
Absolutely. Don't stop, man. Because I think
Yeah.
if you stop moving, mm, I don't know. For me, I've always enjoyed fitness just because, yeah, it gives me that high. Uh,
Yeah.
but my favorite thing now is to smoke weed and then exercise. Uh,
Nice.
and I'm not recommending it for you. I recommended it to
Uh-huh.
my brother. It didn't go
Yeah.
so well, but it's worked for me. And I don't know. It also helps me, like, I don't know. It helps me maintain my metabolism. And
Hmm.
yeah.
That's that would be nice because my metabolism left like 4 years ago and it is never come back. That thing is gone.
How old are
Oh
you
man.
now?
I'm 31.
31.
Yeah.
I turned 32 today, actually. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah.
32. Well, still young. Still young.
33, but I was
Oh.
doing deadlifts. No, I was doing squats. And now I have like this weird kink in my knee that
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to stretch it every
Uh-oh.
day. It's not bad. Like I don't have pain.
Okay.
Like I can still run
That's good.
and
Yeah.
but it's happening. It's like those pains are
Yeah.
coming. And then whenever I'm
Dude.
like working too much, I have this is an ergonomic desk, so I can lift it up and put it
Mm.
down.
Nice.
But I also learned I have a shorter leg than the other, just by like it's not even like a
Oh.
millimeter. But I get
Interesting.
this pain in my hip, and it always comes
Mm.
back. And with only with weightlifting, it goes away. But it brings
Interesting.
other new pains in my lower back, in my
Yeah.
hump. I I got a hump now. You can't see it because I'm trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
But my wife says I have a hump.
Dang.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah, it's
don't
happening.
stop, man. And
No, no, we can do it. We can. Yeah, my sister died of cancer 2 weeks ago now, and
I'm
I
sorry.
went to the doctor because I haven't been to the doctor in like 4 years. I was like, "Well, we're dying of cancer. I guess I better go get a checkup." And he was like, "Bro, you need to work out." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I will." He's like, "Your family is genetically prone to getting cancer. The only way you'll possibly survive is if you're ridiculously fit when you finally do get cancer." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, doc."
I mean, and not even then, dude. Like
Yeah,
all the
seriously.
plastics in our water, our foods,
Yeah.
like uh yeah, no, don't have kids, man, because how long can I ask did your sister pass with cancer? And
Yeah,
also when
she.
when she found out,
Mhm.
so the questions I ask about cancer is like, when did she find out? And if she would have had an earlier like exam, could it have been prevented? Because like,
Prevented? Yeah. So for her, no, it couldn't have been. Because she got breast cancer like 6 years ago, right? And she had the surgery and she had chemo, and it went into remission, right? And obviously, once you've had cancer, like chance of it coming back is decent. So like she was having her, checkups and everything regularly. I don't know the exact cadence, but when it came back in full force and it had metastasized in between like checkups. So in between checkups, she went from cancer free to stage 4 cancer. So yeah, not much you can do about that. But anyways, then she went through treatment for about 3 years with stage 4 cancer before she died.
man, I'm
So,
so sorry, dude.
oh, thanks, man.
I'm learning.
I yeah. My dad has had cancer for the last 20 years. He has a very unique type of cancer. I don't even know the exact name of it. but basically the tumors are extremely slow growing, right? So he has stage 4 cancer, and he's had stage 4 cancer for like 15 years now, right? But because of the uniqueness of the tumors, like they just grow really, really slow. They're always growing, but they're really slow. So he's still kicking, right? So like for me and my family, like cancer has been a part of our lives for so long that like, you know, I mean it obviously is terrible and sucks, but like it wasn't a surprise, right? When Anna finally died.
Wow.
Yeah. Cancer. Cancer is crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah, my dad had he had a tumor in his prostate.
Mm.
I don't even remember. I was in Mexico City. No, yeah, Mexico City, like 2007, and it's been
Yeah.
gone. Like he's been cancer free. Uh,
It's
he's
good.
living it up in Mexico. He's retired.
Nice.
Dude, the places they go, and the food they're eating, and just the people too. I'm like, man, I want to move to
Sounds
Mexico.
awesome, dude.
Like I really
Dude.
want to, but my wife's
Oh no.
she's afraid that we'll become targets. Um,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, for
Dang.
everything. But a bunch of
Yeah.
gringos are moving to Mexico City, man. Like,
Of course, dude. Like with the economy the way it is, right? Like, I mean, why not? Right? Like your money will go so far. Like American money will go so far, and like, yeah, it makes sense. Like people are like my wife's dad is thinking about moving to Malaysia. He just retired a couple of years ago, and like he is he, he had a divorce like 2 years before he retired, so he lost basically all of his retirement. And so what he still has, he's like, I should just move to Malaysia, and then I'll be just fine for the next 30 years. Yeah.
right on. Yeah, dude, things are tough all over, and I'm so thankful for being here, for being alive, another year of life, and
It's a good thing.
I mean, I feel this. I've always felt the need to reach out, so that's why I kind of did this, or and still want to keep doing this, because like I feel
Sure,
like
dude.
we're such a unique, small, uh, very small group. I mean, we're BYU animation. Um,
Yeah.
we're leaving the church, and yeah, so it's like I'm trying to find my community and you know identify myself again. So it's like it's crazy. I still don't know what to do in the future. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
this thing about religion, I don't know. I feel like it's holding me back from what I want to do. And, my wife is still in, and my wife and I, we've talked about like getting divorced quite a few
Oh,
times because it's tricky. Like I find myself
yeah.
embarrassing her because of what she still believes, and my
And the
brother,
community that he associates with, and
yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
when it comes to
That
moving
would be
forward
so
too,
hard, though. Yeah.
and also as men, because it's a very unique set of issues that we're facing today. Um, and I feel like this like this not engaging with our community is also a self violence, um, because
Kind of
we've
a self harm.
lost
Yeah.
kind of like this confidence, right,
Mm.
to share anything about us, about what's unique about us. Maybe because we don't feel unique anymore because we're not in our religion anymore. Um,
Mm.
so it's very tricky. So I thank you for coming on and like talking to me about it, getting you to think.
No problem, dude.
Uh, and yeah,
Thanks for thanks for reaching out and thanks for calling.
yeah,
You gave me a lot to you gave me good things to think about.
cool, cool.
And
And is this wholesome for you? Is this like this is wholesome for me because
oh
again, I'm
yeah.
trying to identify myself in the world I live in.
Yeah. No, this has been great.
Cool, cool.
It's and they're yeah, this conversation reminded me. I mean, there's more of us out here than it feels like living in Utah. You know, like yeah. Anyways,
Well, cool, dude. I don't want to take up more of your time, but I mean, um, I'll let you go now because my wife is calling me. Uh,
okay, get out of
let's
here,
do
dude.
this again,
As,
man. I want
okay,
to. I want to keep talking more. I need that in my life. And since we're both
me too, man.
unemployed, uh, there's no
Let's do
better
it.
time.
All right, man. Go talk to your wife, and yeah, I'll talk with you again soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Take care, Steven.
Yeah.